ask for what you want. There is an epidemic in this country where people are not asking for what they want. They are complaining about what they don't want. They're talking about everything that's going wrong. They're bitching, they're whining, they're crying. And they're really devoting a lot of time and energy and rhetoric to what they don't want. And they're misusing their mouth, their tongue, their words. They're just misusing it. They're misspeaking. And therefore, they're miscreating. They are creating outcomes that they don't want. One of the biggest lessons that I think I've learned is ask for what you want. This is really hard for people because of how they grew up. They were told no. They were told stop asking. They were told no, you can't have that. No, that's not for you. And they just hear it over and over again, and it gets programmed in the back of their mind. And so as adults, they become really uncomfortable with asking for what they want. So one, they assume that they're not allowed to ask for what they want. Two, they assume that even if they did ask for what they want, they would be shut down. They would be told no, they would be rejected, that they can't have what they want. So there's all of these like hidden beliefs that go into them not asking for what they want. But let's think about this. This is a biblical principle. Ask and you shall receive. This is in the Bible. This is ancient wisdom. Like, this is true. What does it actually mean to ask for what you want? This means, first and foremost, that you know what you want. So you have to be in touch with, like, what do I actually want? What do I want for my life? What is the person that I want to be? Who do I want to be? What do I want to do with my life? You have to know that before you can get what you want and before you can ask for it. And you have to take the actions that are going to get you what you want. So let's say that you wanted to place an order for a certain type of curtain to cover your glass door, your glass patio kitchen door. We don't have a curtain on it, so it's just open. Let's say you wanted a curtain and you wanted a specific kind of fabric, so you didn't want it to be polyester or plastic or something. You want like linen, let's say, and maybe you want like white or off-white, and you have an idea of what it is that you want. So the way that you would ask for it is you go on Amazon, you search for the key terms, the curtain that you're looking for, you see what comes up, you find what you're looking for, you place an order, you pay the money, and that's a form of asking. That's a very simplistic way of asking for what you want. If you don't go online, you don't search for the product, you don't pay for the product, and you don't place the order, you're basically not asking for what you want. Maybe you're thinking about it, oh, I should order a curtain. Maybe you're dreaming about it. Maybe you're telling yourself you can't or you shouldn't for some reason. Maybe you're procrastinating it because you're like, well, I don't know what fabric I want. Maybe you're doubting that the curtain that you want exists. Maybe you're like, I don't know if anyone even makes linen curtains. Maybe there's all kinds of reasons or excuses why you're not placing your order. As opposed to just owning your desire, the fact that, hey, I actually want this curtain. I actually have standards around the type of fabric that I want the curtain to have. I'm not just going to buy some cheap crap from China or wherever. I'm actually going to pay more money for a better quality curtain. I just have to go through the steps to find it. And you decide, you know what? I'm going to order this curtain today. And you place the order. That is a form of asking. That is a form of taking action so that you can ask. Again, it's simplistic. It's a simplistic example. But let's say you're a copywriter and you're working with a client and you want something different out of the relationship or the arrangement or the contract or the structure of how you're working with this person. It's like, what do you want? Okay, I want better communication. I want a better system of getting the information to me. I want this client to be more timely with their replies. Maybe they're taking like weeks to answer a single email. Maybe they're not responsive and you want them to be responsive. Maybe they are extremely rude in how they're delivering feedback on your writing. And you're like, I don't want that. I want them to be more succinct or more clear on about what they want, or, you know, more polite even. Like, what is it that you want? So you have to think about what you actually want, and then you have to ask for it. And this is where the communication comes in. This is where you actually communicate. How do I want to ask for what I want? What is the action that I need to take in order to ask for what I want? Because if you don't do anything, you're just going to be in the same situation. You're going to keep tolerating the situation that you don't want, and that is the perfect breeding ground for resentment. And so if you're a copywriter and you want something from your client, you have to really think about it. Like, okay, how do I ask this? How do I ask this question? How do I phrase it in a way where my ask is also something of benefit to the client? I remember like years ago, I just came out and asked a client for $100,000. And I didn't give them a specific like reason why they would want to pay that. It was just sort of like, hey, what do you think about giving me this money and we'll create something? And the way that I was asking it didn't get me the result that I wanted because I didn't frame the ask in a way that was beneficial to the client. It would only be beneficial to me. And the client said no, but I went on and found another client that said yes because I asked in a different way. So you have to like think about, what are you asking for? What is it that you want? How are you asking? This is not about requesting a free handout. This is about really getting creative about how you can create value for another person, for your clients, your customers. And copywriting is essentially a creative way of asking for the sale. You're creating content, you're making an offer, you're educating, you're motivating, educating, and inspiring in your content. You're tying it to an offer and you're asking for the sale. If you don't ask for the sale, you never make any sales. The way that you ask, the energy behind how you're asking is super important. You don't want to be begging. You don't want to be demanding. You don't want to ask from a place of fear that they're going to reject you, or fear that like you're literally like you're shrugging your shoulders like, do you think this might be possible? Like, that's not how you want to ask. You want to ask with confidence. You want to be like, hey, I have this great idea that I think is going to be really valuable for you. Would you like to hear about it? Can we talk about it? Because I am really excited to help you do X, Y, or Z. So think about what it is that you want for your personal, individual life. Today, this week, this month, for the next 90 days, for the next year. Stop focusing on what everybody else is doing and really ask yourself, what is it that I want to do? What do I want to be? What do I want to have? Who do I need to ask? How do I need to ask? What is it that you want? And figure out like what is the action you need to take that is the form of asking so that you can actually get what you want. Right? Is there a client that you want to work with? Maybe they expressed interest, but they didn't buy right away. Maybe you reach out to them and you ask them a question. Maybe there is something that you've been wanting to do for a long time, right? Like, what are the questions that you need to ask yourself in order to take the action? Like, just take it, take that action. Time is not slowing down, time is speeding up, and there's going to come a point where it's going to be too late to do the things you want to do. So let's get on those actions now. Let's do what we want to do now and stop waiting for permission. Stop being afraid of asking for what you want. And remember, there's a way that you're asking. There's an effective way to ask, and there's an ineffective way to ask. And you have to align with, well, what's the most effective way to ask for what I want and to actually get it? When you ask, of course, you're going to be open to rejection. You're going to be open to doors slamming in your face. You're going to be open to judgment. People may ridicule you. People may not understand you, and that's totally fine. You still have to ask because this is your life. This is what you want for yourself. I asked the universe to give me a better house. Give me a better landlord. I didn't just fucking sit there on the couch and wish and pray for that. I took a lot of action. Dan and I looked at a lot of houses. We looked at 30 or 40 or 50 different houses until we found the one that we really loved. Both of us loved this house. That was our form of asking, taking the action. We put in the 60-day notice for the other landlord, the toxic, narcissistic, awful company, right? They're no longer in our lives. And we started looking. We went online. We looked for the houses. We went in person. We toured different cities. We went to different neighborhoods. We looked at a shit ton of houses until we found the one that we wanted. We did not settle for a house that we didn't want. We almost signed a lease with another really red flaggy company, but they were making me go insane just in the initial application process. So I took that as a red flag. They're not right. Nope. Next. And so we didn't sign with that company. We kept going until we found the right one. And funny enough, on the day that we found this house, we were going to look at two houses, one in a different city and one in our current city. And I asked God to bless the houses that we were looking at. I said, you know what? Bless this trip, because I hadn't really done that before. I hadn't asked for a blessing before. I said, God, can you please bless our trip today? Bless the houses that we're looking at. Because, we were tired. We were getting tired of the process. We had looked at so many houses. And we also didn't want to settle for something that wasn't just a hell yeah. And so we looked at the first house, which happened to be this one, and it was perfect. I made the decision right in that moment. I was like, I don't even want to look at the second house. We're getting this one. It had been listed online for not even a full day, and we were the first ones to inquire about it. We submitted our application right away, got approved, and the landlord is amazing, and the whole process was just very smooth. And I was like, okay, this is me asking for what I want. I asked the universe for what I want. I took action and I got what I wanted. This house makes me swoon every time I walk in any single room. Just the architecture of it, the structure of it, the look of it, the beauty of it. I love it. I got what I wanted. We're here for a year and maybe longer. Who knows? And what do you want? Ask for what you want. Take the actions to get what you want. And just don't tolerate for anything that you don't want. Why would you tolerate something that you didn't want? On that note, I am going to go to the gym for a late night gym sesh. So thanks for listening, and I will talk to you guys later.